Good morning.
All righty. Well, this is Pricing Pros, and I'm Rebecca Cooper. And my typical disclaimer: I'm not a pricing pro. We are here to do our workout today and get some real world practice in for pricing. And Emily Warner has graciously provided us a hot property, hot coming soon. And not that that's a violation of clear cooperation. So we are going to take a look at her property, and she's going to help us understand a little more about it, and then we're going to do some work. This is not meant to be a lecture, but an interactive experience. So please help us out and give us your ideas, your thoughts, and help us shape these comps that we're going to come up with today. So the address is 225 Fernwood. Is that correct, Emily?
It's 2215.
2215 Fernwood.
And Sylvia was the buyer's agent when this last sold.
What? Did you set this up, Emily? Did you call Sylvia and say,
I didn't.
Oh,
that's not mad at me.
I love it. I love it when we have a love connection on Pricing Pros. All right. So we've got some insight from the previous buyer's agent, and now we are going to help Emily come up with some pricing. All right. So I'm going to go and share the screen. Emily, unless you want to drive, do you want to drive it?
I can. Hey, did they send the text? Oh yeah, you did. I was like,
it went out. Yeah,
sure.
I mean, if you want to, happy to sit back and let you do it, and then we'll just we'll be here to spot you.
Okay. So, do you want me to pull up the old listing? Start there. That'd be good.
That sounds like a good place.
Okay, good. I'm doing that, and then I'll share my screen if you can let me.
Do I have to like allow it? Hopefully it's set where you can just go on and do it. Do you have a share screen option?
I do. I'm just pulling it up real quick.
Oh, it is humid. My hair is going to be as big as Emily's by the time it's set.
My hair this week has been like crazy. Okay.
Yeah, who needs a barometer when you've got hair like this, right?
All right. Is that working for you guys?
Yes, ma'am. That looks great.
Okay, cool. I'm glad we have a judge-free hair zone here.
Judge-free
women in the call.
Judge-free. I will remind everybody that it is being recorded. So if we have any come aparts or anything, we'll edit that out later.
Okay, good. So this house is 2215 Fernwood Drive. It's in Inglewood, just under 1,400 square feet. It's a 2-bed, 2-bath, but it also has an office that is a pass-through to the master. So that could be an office or a nursery, or someone wanted, whatever they could do to it, but it's currently used as an office and sewing room. So if you can look at the photos here, so for the most part, the outside's still the same. She's added some gardens and stuff, and we'll make this look all cute. This is a garage. It can hold one car, but it only has a walk-through door. So if someone wanted it as a parking garage, they would need to put a new door on there. But it's big, and she uses it as a workout room and storage.
Is it just corrugated metal? That garage thing.
Let me pull it up. Let me see if I can zoom. No, it's like wood siding. Is that what you mean?
Okay. Yeah, I just can't tell. All right, great.
It's wood siding, and it has power. She has a TV mounted in there from where she'd use her exercise bike. This little side door goes into the kitchen. So you can park right there and come off into the kitchen. This is your little dining area, and here's your living area, just to give you a little idea. So there's your living room, empty. We're going to have it staged with her stuff. We're cleaning it out right now. And that's the living room. Kitchen's pretty much the same. She may have changed the floors. I can't remember, but what she has changed is only really cosmetic stuff. And it has the old cabinets. So just, it has a dishwasher. It does not have a garbage disposal. I think it has that same stove. She has a different fridge there and she's not living the fridge. There's the kitchen. So you can kind of tell it's like original cabinets, but they're in solid good shape. So, and she's put some kind of shelving thing here. There's one of the bedrooms. This bathroom has been redone, so ignore it. But she has a new floors, a new vanity, new paint. Like this room just looks totally different now. This is the office. So that is the guest room. And over here is the master. To the right is the guest and left is the master. So right here's that little bathroom. So that's where it's a pass through. She's going to leave the washer dryer. This is the master bath and the master bed. Master bath is huge. It's in good shape. It's really big. It doesn't even show you, but to the right of this vanity is like a whole other area. So it's big. Master, there are two master closets right here. They look across from each other. And she has added a screened in deck. So this old deck is gone, totally gone. And she added one about 3 times its size, comes out to here, covered, screened, really nice. So that's kind of the big addition that that's the big thing she's put money into on this one. And also the backyard is not fully flat. There is this flat area, but then where you see these stairs, it's like a bowl. So that's like a fire pit area. I would not want to mow that section. And then this back shed, she's painted it. It's the same dark color as the garage, but she's painted it with pink doors, like Barbie doll pink. So those will be fun. Yeah, you can see where that garage could have a door added.
Nice.
So fully fenced, that's it. It's your basic Inglewood house.
And you said fully fenced, and when was it built?
1950.
50.
So I have a price. We're gonna put it in coming soon today, but I wanted to share. Should I just go? Are you gonna go through and find the comps, Rebecca, or am I gonna do this?
That is up to you, Emily. If
I
you
want
want
you
to,
to do it because you have a different process than I do, and I already know what I think.
okay, all right. Well, I will drive, but you have to comment on. Well, I looked at this, and
I'll be your
sort of-
co-pilot.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good. My spotter.
And fun fact, the house across the street from this was my first house ever that I bought in the recession in 2007, exactly 14 years ago. So I'm just
Oh
like
my God.
proud and excited about.
What'd you pay for that
This-
house across the street?
What about it?
What did you pay for that home across the street?
$131,000.
What a bargain. Do you still own it?
I sold it 2 years ago for $350,000.
Same specs as this?
It's only a little bigger. It's one more bedroom. It's a 3/4 bath. Like there's some differences, but they're definitely built like the same time, same builder. But there's just a couple of different layouts around.
What's the 3/4 bath? What do you call that? What is
That's
that?
with a shower, stand-up shower only.
Oh, I still call that a full bath. Interesting.
Maybe I'm wrong. You've been around longer than
Excuse
me.
me. No, I don't think you're wrong. I've heard it occasionally. I think it's a great distinction. I would love if that was commonplace, because then we would know just by saying that versus we say It's a full bath, but stand-up shower, or full bath shower tub combo. You heard it here first. Let's push it.
Push it.
Very cool.
So I know she'll get more than 350.
That's a good
That's
starting
what I-
point. There's our first teaser. Elise, have you run a lot of comps yet? CMAs?
No, I haven't.
Cool,
Not at all.
good. This is awesome training. You'll be a pro, a pricing pro. Watch a few of these, you do a few yourself. Rebecca looks like she's just had her eyes dilated this morning, or she needs blue blockers. Do you need some help, Rebecca?
Oh, I'm okay. I'm coming to you guys live from the Starbucks parking lot in Lebanon, Tennessee. So, and the sun is trying to come out and blind me. So I'm okay though.
At Starbucks. I've spent some time at that Starbucks when I was working
Yeah.
for Cracker Barrel. It's the only Starbucks in town.
It is the only Starbucks in town. All righty.
Okay.
Emily, you want us just, it's one thing I like to do, just scroll down and see if there's anything else in this old listing that you know, maybe we need to point out, or it's 1/4 of an acre. That's good. Do you know how old the roof is?
How old the what is?
The roof. The roof.
I have it somewhere, but I don't right now.
Okay.
It's not brand new. I'll say that.
Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. And would you mind scrolling just a little more?
All right.
I just want to see this. Okay, so appliances all remain. You said washer and dryer is going to remain. All right.
There
And are
won't
you
be
going?
a fridge.
Go ahead.
The buyer will want to get their own refrigerator.
Okay. No fridge. Okay. I'm going to mute for just a second because the police officer's going by. I stand corrected. Evidently, Lebanon is on fire. All righty. All right. Other folks on the call, anything else that you see on here that in the listing? Because this is also going to help Emily with putting together her MLS listing. Anything, any features we should, it says fireplace is unspecified. I'm guessing that means no.
There's no fireplace.
Okay. That's one that irritates me. Like, if there's no fireplace, don't put unspecified, just like leave it blank. All righty. All right, sounds good. Anybody else? Hey, good morning, Mary B.
You're muted, Mary.
Good morning.
All righty, sounds good.
Sylvia.
Nice. I like to look at the sales history too. So closed in 2019. Before that, looks like they tried to sell it in 2018.
And only because I lived across the street and have the intel, this was a divorce situation at some point. So I think there was some, yeah.
Gotcha. And as long as you're in there, Emily, if anyone else doesn't have anything else to add on this one, I like to go from this page because it's an easy click to go to the tax record.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to scroll up
Oh, this one.
on the, yeah. Mhm. I like to look here too, see if there's,
Totally.
I like to look for, is there a discrepancy in the square footage? Nope, seems not to be.
And we're gonna have it professionally measured as well.
Okay,
And there's a prior appraisal, so we will have an exact number, but I
Okay.
think that is it. That's the same number I've found everywhere else. And here's just a funny thing, if you look over here on the property lines. So when I bought my house on Fernwood, my realtor who was with Village uncovered this, the property lines on Fernwood Drive are all off of where the houses are built. So you can see where the line goes through structures. That's all across the street, and owners have just accepted the current fence lines as property lines, but in the tax record, your property line goes through your neighbor's garage. and it's the whole street.
That's
Interesting.
scary. That's frightening, actually, because what if somebody wanted to
I
tear
think
down
there's-
and build?
Teddy, were you about to say something?
Nope.
Oh,
I mean, I would share though, you know, I don't know if somebody's seen these property lines on the tax record, in my experience, can be grossly off. And so I wouldn't pay much attention to where the building sits with respect to that property line.
mhm.
Without a proper survey, I mean, this could give a buyer additional interest to go pursue a survey. But with the cost, expense, and delay in them being completed, as we know, most don't. But
Mhm.
otherwise, I personally don't give much credo to that.
Yeah. Okay.
So to the best of your knowledge, Emily, there's no you know, easements or anything like that. It's just off.
That's what I'm aware of, but I would
Okay.
love to dig in further. So if offline anyone has any thoughts, I welcome them.
Yeah, I'd like to go down that rabbit hole a little bit later.
Yeah, me too.
Because I'm curious in terms of, as the listing agent, your obligation to disclose and what you would disclose. I mean, if it's just hearsay,
Yeah.
or if you
I
know,
only have
that's,
a hearsay.
that sort of thing, you at least definitely want to advise, a buyer's agent that, I used to live here, I know that, and, you likely want to encourage your buyer to get a survey. I mean, that may be the extent of your obligation. I don't know, but we'll go down that rabbit hole later. One thing I see on here, I see that creek running back there, so I can't wait to get to the bottom of the page and find out about the flood zone.
It's not inland.
What? All right, so
It's
scrolling all the way down to the bottom for the flood zone information. There we go. Nope. All righty, good to know. And then we got a little information about the zoning, RS10, single family. Right.
This is a time, of course, good to check floodplain as well, which obviously it's not. I also looked at the map.
Right, if you click on that firm panel ID number, Emily, that 47, yep. So for everyone, we can go to this, the FEMA.gov for flood map information, and we can advise your sellers and buyers of this information, where to find it. All right, great. All right.
Okay.
And another way to look at it, of course, we'll go back to the tax record, and let's look at a larger map and add some layers on it.
Where do you want me to go?
Sure,
to
just
start that?
scroll up to the top where the picture is. And, yep, and underneath the picture, it says view larger map.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah. And then over on the far left, there's near the top, there's two little arrows. Yep, open that up. And this is where you can add the layers onto the map. So we can add the flood zone layer. Like to do that one. Right.
Wow.
So that's an easy way to pop it. So you can see it, at least by this map, which is pulled from FEMA.gov. It does not appear to be in flood zone. So nice. Now, if you have another 500-year flood, you may have waterfront property, but looks like it won't go in there. All right.
Yeah, the creek does get water, and there are like deer that walk up and down there, because if you look, it goes all the way to Shelby Park.
Yes.
It seems like a selling feature because you're not in the flood zone, but if it gets water, I mean, a lot of people love having a creek in their backyard. Would you say that it is something that the owners can walk down into and enjoy?
Yes, and my seller is mostly like a gardening yard work person, so she's made it a little zone back there, even though it's not technically her property, but there's a fence you can open to go enjoy the
Did the
creek.
photographer get any of water pictures?
I'm having photos Tuesday, so that's another reason why I'm doing this. So I get all of your all's smarts.
Make sure, yeah, make sure you, or I would suggest to make sure to include water, water photos, even if you take them and forward them to your photographer, but they should or could be able to do that. I just think water property is so premium right now. And even though it's a creek, like that's water property, right? And the fact you're not in a flood zone, everybody's looking for differentiators of what makes something additionally special. And I think people are even more so appreciating that, especially with pets or young kids that want to play in it.
Yeah, for sure. So that's kind of cool that, you know, deer totally come from here and walk all the way up this creek.
So cool.
Now, where should I go, Rebecca?
Well, anyone else, does anyone have anything else they'd like to see here in the tax record? Sylvia says, back on the tax record property lines, I see this in a lot of neighborhoods. It can be caused by the angle that the satellite view is overlapping with the lines. If you zoom in on this larger view and click on the photo view, the lines may look different. Okay, so we're zooming in, and then over at the little, on the right side, the little settings where you can change the view. And then which one do you want? The aerial? Is that the one you want, Sylvia? Let's just take a look at that. No, that still kind of looks in. Can you zoom in any further, or are we in as far as we can go?
Yeah, I can. Oh,
Ah!
whoa, give me one sec. I'm so used to double clicking to zoom in, and on this, that is not
Yeah.
what you want to do. Sorry, guys.
Well, and another great thing about that floodplain being back there, nobody's gonna build back there. Can't be built on. So
Nope.
you're not gonna have, you know, any additional density behind you, which is nice.
Correct.
Guaranteed privacy.
There
Yes.
you go. That's the marketing thing.
Ooh,
Jotting that one down.
By any chance, does your buyer have, your seller have any good pictures of the actual deer in the backyard? If she has a really high quality one that she's taken, you might be able to incorporate that.
I can't virtually stage a deer in that creek.
Actually, I believe you could. You just need to mark that. I don't think you want it in the creek, by the way. Let's see. And Sylvia adds, Robbie Drimmer was trying to have 32 houses built there up the hill. The neighborhood squashed it.
Yeah, Mr. East Nashville looking out for the neighbors. Hey, yo. Sylvia, you sold this home, correct, to the current owner?
She did.
I did, she says. All right. Do you have any deer photos we could use?
Yes, Sylvia. I'll pay you.
From my
yard.
yard.
That'll work.
Nice.
That'll work. The foliage is similar. We're good.
Tell you what, Emily, I'm quite certain I will see deer, cow, and possibly wild pigs later today. I'll try to get you a good picture.
Oh, good. Oh, one thing I just noticed on this satellite image, the back deck is pictured. That's the new deck. So it's really big. It's
Yeah.
really big. And I'll have it measured, but I don't remember the size. And then she has new stairs that go right off to the garden beds. So this is all really cute. And then your fire pit down here.
Fantastic. And behind the scenes, because inquiring minds want to know, why is she selling?
She is getting a larger house in Madison.
Okay.
She also got a promotion, so it just kind of, the timing worked out, and we are under contract with a timeline and a contingency. So we need to be closed by November 17th.
Okay, good to know. Home sale contingency on her purchase. All right. Woo. It is tight. All right.
Emily, I saw, are you working with Nathan Weinberg? Did I see his name in there?
He was the listing agent on this one last time. And I only recently got to know him and did a deal with him. He's really lovely. And And he generously said I can use the old photos while I'm waiting on my new ones.
Good, okay. He
So
is a
I'm gonna
good.
be able to
he's a good-
use some of those. I'm not gonna use ones that show like the old bathroom. I'll just kind of leave that bathroom out, that kind of thing, but something until I have new ones.
Good.
All righty. Anybody have anything else they want to see in the tax record here? Because this one is probably, it's just going to be sold as is to owner occupant. I'd say we don't need to dig into like parcel view or in zoning information and that sort of stuff. What do you all think? We do that sometimes, when the property could possibly get, be of interest to investors if it's rezoned or used as, short-term rental, that sort of thing. But I think we won't do that today because this one seems to be at its best and highest use as it is.
I hope so. But I have had 2 calls from possible cash buyers who do want to have a rental. I don't have details on if that's long-term or short-term or whatever.
Gotcha.
It would
Well,
be a good rental for like a person with a roommate.
Yeah. Well,
Most.
with the 2 baths, that's nice.
Mhm.
And okay. Anything else that we want to check out while we're in the tax record?
I don't
School
know what
info,
it's for.
school information.
They're
Nothing.
Inglewood Elementary.
Okay, all right. Great. It's just to show you some of the different things that we can do when you're gathering information. And one thing that I do, Emily, if you want to, when you're done with this, there's Easton Prep. Yep. You want to go back to the property report whenever we're done here. Yeah, perfect.
We're done.
Okay. I like to, at the very top where it says save to PDF, you guys probably know this already, but you can save this PDF, provide this information, to your seller. Think of it. Just another way you can, I like to get this information and review it and have it with me at list appointments. All righty. Well, how about we look at some comps then?
Oh wait, that's what I was listening.
All right. All right. If you want me to drive, Emily, I will. If you are feeling it now, then you just
I'm in
drive
here,
on.
so you just
Drive on.
tell me what to do. I'm
All
going
right.
home.
All right.
Residential.
So you're going in through the old interface, which is just fine.
Is this the new one?
Well, it doesn't look like it. Looks like the old one to me. I guess it's on though. Can you turn that off by any chance? The new navigation, old navigation? That little toggle switch is new to me. All right. Well, let's just go with the new navigation then. Toggle that baby back on. We got some drag racing going on here on South Cumberland. All right, so the first thing that I like to do is go to on the right side where it says center. Yep. And this is one way to, to start out, and then put your address in there. It'll pop up on for you.
I've never used that, so I'm really glad you're backseat driving me today because
No,
I've
you do.
never used that button.
My husband never says he's glad I do that. Yeah. All right, so Emily, the way that I start this, I you guys know that I'm in a bit of a rut, but I go to my draw feature and I just go a mile out to start with from that pin. Doesn't mean we're going to keep it there, but thinking like an appraiser when looking for comps, they're typically going to, go, if there's sufficient comps, they're only going to go a mile out. All right, and yep, there we go. Awesome. Search listings, perfect.
Do I want to go to close though?
Yeah, but the first thing I do is just get the radius, and then obviously we don't want to cross over that the
Yeah.
creek there, but because there's nothing on that side, you don't have to edit it. But if you needed to, or if that was a major thoroughfare, if that was Gallatin Road or whatever, you know, we don't want to cross over. So you would double click on the circle.
And that's where it has the edit thing, right?
Yeah, if you double click on Mr. Circle.
I'm trying, but it keeps zooming me in. Sorry.
Whoa. If you click once on Mr. Circle, then it gives you that box to change the diameter. But if you click again on him, on Mr. Circle,
Is that what you want me to do?
I don't want you to make it smaller. I want you to click again so the box goes away. And no, on the circle. Yep. Because
That-
there, we want the little dots to come
Draw
up.
those things over.
Yeah, so if you just want to drag a few just to demonstrate, yeah, but you don't have to do this now because there's nothing on the other side there. But if there was, you know, if we need to, you know, keep it from crossing a major thoroughfare or a river or something like that, once you have your circle, you can adjust it. All right, great. All right, now we'll go to edit the search over your criteria on the left side over here. Yeah. So the default status is always active, coming soon, hold, and under contract showing. So Emily, what other ones do you want to add here?
Close.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
3 months or 6 months?
Start with whatever you're feeling. I mean, it's pretty active over there. And I would also add under contract not showing.
Okay. Does that look good, all of these?
Yes.
Okay. Type, site built, 0 lot.
I would say on this one, I just put single family residence to start with. Again, starting big with a lot of things, and then we'll come back in and start tightening it up.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I like to look at it. Again, the big funnel, you put a bunch of stuff in there and take a look and then edit and then keep pushing down in that iterative process. All right. What are you thinking on beds and baths?
At least 2 beds. And at least 1 bath or 2 baths. What would you do? Would you look at both?
I'd look at both to start with. And, you know, I have yet to see a single family residence that has less than 1 bedroom. So I don't know that you need to put the 2 in there. You probably want to put a cap at 3.
I would put the 2-bedroom on the minimum. I have seen some ones come up. There's not many, but I just eliminate it from the possibility. And at least just so you're on here, I mean, I think that too, you can kind of play around with as you're learning your CMA methods, or everyone on here really, I mean, because Rebecca and I kind of do it a little bit differently. So just as we're going through here, a point of difference, I would only pick single family. I would only pick site built. But I'm not saying to do that. You can, Emily, but I mean, I want Rebecca to follow that, but I'm just kind of illustrating this as people are adapting their style to see, because even if the data shows up, I don't want it in my competition or my consideration per se, but there's instances where, because it isn't a true comp, if something is an HPR built in 2018, in my opinion, it's not a comp, but it is data that could be helpful. So I just wanted to interject there as you were asking those questions. I would do a 2 to 3 bedroom, max at 3. I would max at 2 baths. I don't want to comp against 3 baths, but
What if I have
again,
2.5 baths?
you'll still be seen. So half baths is a separate thing. So if something is 2, a 2.5 would still show up.
Oh,
And that's why you never want to, when a buyer says, hey, I'm okay with a 1.5 bath, I have to tell them, look, I don't have a way to search 1.5 because the half bath is a separate field. If you put 1 as your minimum, And there's no, and then you put a half bath as a one half bath as a minimum, then a 2-bath wouldn't show up. Am I saying
Okay.
that right, Rebecca? Because it needs to have a half bath. So a 2-bed, 2 full bath wouldn't show up. It would only be things with a half bath included. And it's one of the, I think, problems with the way that the half bath thing is categorized.
Yes, that is correct. And you know, for me, and this is just my approach, I don't get too granular on this first. We haven't even run comps yet. So we've just kind of run a circle, and that's found comps within a geographical area. So I say, let's throw a few more things in there, and then we're going to fine tune it as we go along. But I'm going to show you, once we run the search listings, we're going to be able to see half baths and those sorts of things, and how that shows up. So I think, again, that's the way I do it. I take a bunch of things, put them in the funnel, run the search, then take a look at the search criteria again, fine tune it, run it again. Because running comps is not a one and done thing. We talk about this all the time. It's an iterative process, right? And sometimes we get too granular and we need to pull back out. So, but I think we've got a good start now. Year built, to Ted's point, you know, an HPR built in 2018 isn't going to necessarily be a comp for us. However, when we're starting out, I like to see it because I want to see what's on the market, even if it's not a true comp. Again, I don't need comps the first time I hit search listings. I kind of want to see the market in this area, and then we'll start pushing in to get closer to comps. How does that feel?
Love it. So
All right.
what about acreage? What would you do?
I wouldn't do that yet. Again, that's sort of a second or third pass for me.
Okay.
Because I'm concerned if I get too granular to start with, then I can't get my myopic glasses off. So I would rather look big and then say, okay, now I'm gonna cut it back by a year. I'm gonna cut it back by this. We're going incrementally in. We don't want to change too many things at once, because we may need to, if we zoom in too far, we may need to pull out. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I would say we're getting close to being able to, I'd say run it. I'd say let's run search listings.
The price is right.
Whoa, look at all those closed. And you just picked the last 3 months, right?
I sure did.
Dang. All right. So why don't you go to the list view? We're on map view right now. So go up to the top. Yeah, and go to list view. Does that say 51 or 31 listings? I can't see.
118.
Oh, not even close. Yeah, I went to the eye doctor today. I can't see a thing. So this is probably too many to look at right now. So we're gonna want to go over there and start editing our criteria again. But before you go, let's just look over to the far right. So you had a minimum of 1 bath, maximum of 2, but you can see the category of half bath,
Huh.
right?
Okay.
So that's going to be, that's pulled in so we can see that. But if we try to limit it by adding additional field or criteria for half baths, to Ted's point, if we put that in there, minimum of 1, max of 2, if there's no half bath, we're going to lose out on anything that doesn't have a half bath. So.
Sorry, my screen's being a weird.
Oh, good.
I turned my camera off, hoping that will
All right.
help it run a little faster. Okay, now what would you like me to look at? Now, some of these square footage are really huge.
Yep.
So like my process would be like, let's cut that down first, just to weed some of these out.
Love it. Let's do that.
So since it's 1330, in my mind, I'd go up to 1500. Would you do that? You're muted, Rebecca.
So there are a couple of different ways to look at it. I've heard go 10% over and under. Again, because I tend to keep my funnel larger for longer, I'd probably do 16 to start with. And then I'd probably put 1,000 on the bottom because they don't want anything under 1,000 square feet. What do others think?
I like that.
I did 11 to 1,700.
Okay.
But I mean, I think the 1,000 to 16 is good too.
I'll do both. 1,000 to 1,700.
There you go.
You both
Right.
win.
Yay.
Now we're down to 70 listings.
All right, good. What are you seeing in the year built column there?
A lot of things that are older, like before
Yeah.
MTV. If it's before MTV,
Yeah, so when you limited it by square footage, that pulled out a lot of the newer builds, right? So that was a good criteria to pick to change.
yeah, because they're all probably bigger, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I also see quite a bit of 3 bedrooms. Do I still want them in there?
I mean, you've got what, 70 hits? I think
Yeah.
it's time to try to.
Narrow
I think the
it.
first thing I would kill would be bathrooms, because a
Oh.
1 bath versus a 2 bath is a huge distinction for a buyer and for valuation. A 2 versus a 3 bedroom is a distinction, but not as big as a bathroom.
Huh.
Why is that? Because people don't want guests using their only bath, their primary bath, or their, in the spirit of master bath. So I would start by leaving those 3 baths. I mean, or the 3 beds, I killed it immediately, went to 2, but I mean, the bath is the more important in a smaller infill home. In my opinion, I'd be interested in others, but I think the bath tends to be a bigger valuation distinction than the bed count. Even though, of course, yes, everybody wants a 3 versus a 2 bed, but the bath thing, I don't know.
And this one has the office, so I should probably keep the 3 beds.
Absolutely.
Because someone might use that for a kid's room, or like everyone in COVID just needs a room. It doesn't really have to be a
And I'd make that very clear in your comments early on. 2 bedroom, all caps, plus office.
I would call it, I would say plus flex room could be office, hobby room, nursery, whatever. For me, I don't like to limit people's view on it. But if you put office, nursery, hobby room, different sorts of things, people can envision it how they want.
Dungeons and Dragons room.
Collectibles room,
Could be Beanie Baby.
And also someone who's like a big gamer might put all their gaming
Uh-huh.
crap in there. Not crap, but like they have those chairs and headsets and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I do still use that word office because I think that people think of it in real estate terms as such a generic flex room. But if you have the characters, I think it's good to Rebecca's point. If I don't, that's one of the first thing I kill, because I want to talk about Sylvia's fake deers more than I do what type of things you could do in your spaces.
Okay.
Different strokes for folks. That's what this is all about, right? To see different people's styles and techniques, and pick your own.
Oh, Emily, I helped someone buy a house in East Nashville a year and a half ago, and there were these 2 life-size fake deer in the yard. I can get them for you.
I saw one of those the other day, and I was like out in Clarksville, and I pulled over, I was zooming in to get a good picture. It was totally fake. Not a real deer. No, I never moved. And it was like a buck, like with all the antlers. And
To Sylvia's point, it was real deer. Not fake deer. I forgot I was telling her fake deer.
All right, you want to run that puppy?
And then Sylvia also said you could call it a 3rd bedroom, but clear it as a pass-through.
okay. Oh. Even though, well, Sylvia, I want your opinion.
Chime in, Sylvia.
You know the house with the 2 master closets. Technically, would one of those closets go to the master and one go to the office and count as a 3-bedded? Because they're right there in between the master and the office.
I love the 3rd bedroom with detached closet.
But it's like in there. It's between those, in that pass through between the two rooms. There are two large closets. They're big. Walk
I
in.
call it a third bedroom. Period. I think people get too much in the weeds about it. Like, is it a bedroom? Is it not a bedroom? What can we do with it? It's like, does it look and talk like a bedroom? I'm not saying it meets appraisal standards or septic, but I'd call it a bedroom.
Does it have a window?
It does. It has a window, a door, and a closet just off of it.
Basically, you just have to have an egress. You got to be able to get out of it, right, for it to be a bedroom.
Mhm.
It'd be
All
a
right.
three-bedroom, but to
Go
me,
ahead.
but I would keep it the comps for a 2 and 3 bedroom. I would put your minimum baths at 2. Sorry.
No, this is, don't be sorry. You guys are smart, sharing your intel. Now we're down to 37 listings.
And I think one of the important things too, Rebecca, at what point do you narrow your map more? Do you think that map just starting with a circle? I mean, to me, the map is more important than bed, bath, footage, or any of it. So aren't we a little more scrutinous? You guys are Easties about where those sale boundaries exist of value differentiations. I don't know, this may cut it, but I just think this seems like, is that street right over Uncle Hall? I mean, I just think, when do you, at what pass or phase do you start getting more scrutinous with your geography?
In this neighborhood now, again, at the very beginning, if I were over in Cleveland Park, I would start with the circle, but then I'd automatically move the things in, so I'm not crossing Ellington Parkway or the interstate, right? But for this neighborhood, I would do it now. And you know,
And one option is to not use the circle. You know, Emily, what would you, I mean, Emily, you're an East Nash Pro or East Nash Pro. Where do you think the map should be or look like?
I mean, I'm a pro as in I've lived here, but I have not sold a house here. So I mean, as someone
Love
who
the
lives
humility.
here, let's see, tighten up to the modest ranches, and I would do from the start. I'm looking at Sylvia's chat.
Yeah. So saying, so map it. Yeah. Do the map, choose your map intentionally from the start, maybe from, and the circle is a good way. When I work in East, I often use the draw tool just because I'm really paying attention to River, Gallatin Pike, and more historic neighborhoods that tend to really tweak comps. But I'm not an East expert.
So here's kind of where my question is on where we are on this map is, like, a main road is Stratford, a main road is a McGavick, but I haven't noticed major price differences over those streets. Like, I don't think, and I don't really know.
for me, when you cross Gallatin Road, yes, right?
Yeah,
And
Gallatin,
then
sure, but McGavick and Stratford in this case, would you cross those?
I would, but again, that's up for you to decide. You've got plenty of comps that are tighter, you know, that are closer. But what I'd want to do now is take a look at the map, see if there's something that, you know, we're not crossing Gallatin Road with this. And Sylvia says would not cross McGavick, historic area, really different. Okay, so we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
And sometimes too, if I see enough of those, this works pretty efficient with this circle, but again, we're that draw tool. Sometimes if you draw a bizarre shape,
Yeah.
and you go to edit it, there's so many points and nodules that it can make it difficult, but this is great. And I appreciate your sharing, Sylvia.
Sylvia is the best. She has helped me so much. She's why I came to Village.
She is?
Yeah.
And now you
she
and
brought
now you
me-
stole her and now you stole her client. This is so wonderful.
I know, it's really awkward. but
I'm just
she-
kidding,
she loves
everyone.
me.
Look, this is our business. Look at Rebecca. Oh no, Ted.
She won't kill me.
She won't. And you know what?
If anything, she's helping me with it.
She is helping you with it.
That's the kind of person she is.
She
Okay,
is.
so this one up here, this 5, I mean, I kept it on McGavick, but that's kind of weird. Okay, so we're down a little bit. Sylvia, would you cross Stratford? Riverside, got it. That makes sense. So, this one's gonna be wonky, sorry, y'all.
You're good.
Not an artist.
And you can always just click the red X and then go to the draw tool and click the boundaries that you want to.
I'm just gonna do that, if that's okay.
Okay, so click on the shape first, then click the red X. Yeah.
And Riverside is here, in McGavick.
And just for those that haven't used this tool, at least I don't know if you drag it, it's going to make a very irregular shape. If you click once for your starting point and then click your next places, it'll make straight lines like she's doing there. But you can make irregular shapes as well.
How does this look to y'all? Where should I go? Where would you go from here?
I would go to the probably to the grid view or to look at all the listings and just sort of eyeball looking for, as is for comp purposes only, investor special, any of those things that might indicate, oh, maybe that's not a comp. That's what I would do next. But
Yeah.
Anybody else? So, and again, not getting too much into it, not, digging in and looking if it says renovated, to the studs, that sort of stuff. Anything that might say, nope, not gonna.
So I would probably weed out this one on Cooper because it's a rental and HPR detached. I would call it a duplex. There may be some reason why it isn't.
Ted will be reporting that to RealTrax shortly. I'm sure he is the RealTrax police.
I love it.
Literally one day I saw you submitted like 5 one day.
I've had it. I've had it with people in the nations promoting HPRs as single family.
So I like this Pinewood one. It's basically right around the corner, just a little bigger. And it's current because it's under contract. So multiple offers. So I really like this one. And I would weed out, that one. Let's see this one. Like at a first glance, it looks great. Looks like a really close one. New water line to street.
It
This
does say remodeled. So I guess, that to the extent it has been, it may, it might be closer or a little further away from a comp.
And so then I pop in a picture and I'm like, okay. This has a lot of colors. Ours is going to be neutral. But I think the same buyer would look at both of these at the end of the day, right? So yeah, this one's a little more remodeled. A little more. Avalon, beautifully remodeled. Jeez. Nice new kitchen. So this one's plus for us. And if I need to hurry through, I know it's almost 11:30. If anyone needs to, sorry. I like Avalon, but it's definitely more remodeled than ours. So we will be under this price, which is already where I was, under that for sure. I like this one because it's really close. right around the corner and about the same size. Large owner suite, I can say that too about mine.
Yeah, and this is a great thing you're pointing out now, Emily, too, as you're, in addition to getting comps, you're getting some marketing ideas as well for, how you're going to market it on MLS.
Yeah, with sitting room, hobby room, office, whatever you want to make it. I'll have to see if that's a bedroom or not. 2-car garage is a big differentiator to me. Because we don't have that. I don't know what difference that makes. This has a pool, so that kind of throws this one off.
And the listing agent is?
Sylvia! I remember when she sold this.
This is another great thing about, when you're running comps is noticing who the listing agents are and never be afraid to pick up the phone and call one of them.
Yeah.
And say, even if it's not Village, just say, hey, look, I'm listing something here and I have a question about X or I have a question about Y.
And I worked
just
with this agent too, Larissa, before. Yeah, this is awesome. Here's your reporter, Teddy Cooper, 2813 Cooper and 2811.
You do it. Anonymous. Look at you all. You're afraid to do it. It's like not a bad thing.
I had this Morgan Mead one under contract and we jumped out of it actually with the best friend of my seller. This one has had major flood history.
Yahtzee.
And is not same.
So I would uncheck that to get rid of that from your comp if you're trying to narrow, if you're trying to put together a CMA. Sorry, Rebecca, were you?
I was just going to say she hasn't got them all checked yet.
10-4.
So when it's before you start going through, and I should have pointed this out, just check them all and then uncheck them if you want to pull them out.
Mm-hmm. So like for me, I would immediately move Sandy out because I don't know how to adjust for a pool.
I don't know if that's a reason to pull it out or not. I haven't ever sold a house with a pool. I do know that a lot of times they're a liability rather than COVID's kind of changed that. So I'm going to defer to more experienced agents on the pool thing.
Okay. Here's a 2-2 on McGavick, really close. It's a Tudor, so it's a little different style. Stainless steel appliances, so that's going to look a lot better. Oh, original oak floors. I need to include that.
So this was built in 1930, and I'm not saying that, that 20 years is going to make that big of a difference, but it's just something to note. That's I'd probably keep it in, but just pointing out that's getting close to outside the range.
I think this one feels at first glance like a really good one. The carport is much an addition. We're going to have better pictures, but we don't have a better kitchen. We do have a double sink kitchen, bathroom in the master. Covered porch. And 2 sheds. So there's a lot similar, but this one has a better kitchen for sure. Thistlewood, renovated 50s. Owner's suite has walk-in closet, blah, blah, blah. We don't have granite countertops, I don't believe.
I also noticed roof, HVAC, electrical, plumbing, 4 years.
Yep. I don't think mine are all like that. So we'll keep that for now. Back to active, 2-2 cottage.
Sylvia says, sorry, Cooper's probably in flood zone. This from Sylvia. Pinewood was weird, something, oh, I can't see.
Oh, wait, I don't see these, okay.
And was weird feng shui, but like Fernwood, so could be,
A good comp, Pinewood
yeah.
and Berrywood.
Okay.
Berrywood.
What's your square footage?
1330.
All right,
Did
so
I is on this one? I can't remember. This one looks great. This one's sexy. Much sexier. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This one's sold as is,
And-
but it was amazing.
and so just for the sake of time, Emily, you've unchecked a couple of them. Let's go up to the, and you can always, before we go over to the left side to save, because you don't want to lose the work you've done, right? Save a search. Finally, the new navigation has this. All right, cops, love it. Compose. All right, so you could always got your work. Now go to the 3 dots on the right side, if you don't mind. And yeah, just pop a quick CMA. And then we can come back and, again, this iterative process. But you can see, there's one thing so far. There's really only one thing that is active, and it says it's a townhome. Is it really? You're probably, to me, that jumps out. It's called Moss Rose Townhomes. So that might be something to take a look at. It's residential, 0 lot line. That looks like a duplex. So anybody else?
Okay. No, I agree with you. That one's a Teddy report, probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Now where should I be looking?
Citizens arrest. So Sylvia says Cooper's probably in a flood zone. Berrywood is walk to Riverside Village, which would be more money. Sandy is higher. Okay. You're going to want to save the chat, Emily, because Sylvia's got all sorts of good stuff in here. So now just glancing down, of course, we our most important finds are those things that have already closed. So what are you seeing here?
So then I go to days on market and take a look at those and see if they're comps or not. If there's a big outlier like this one. Like, okay, what's different at a quick glance? It's a lot bigger acreage. It's a little smaller house, a 3-2, 1-car garage. But maybe it was just listed too high. That's been happening. And 22 isn't really long. If it was like 90 days or something, that would really be.
Well, 22 is the new 90 in this market, right? And what I noticed in the comps is I like to eyeball list price versus sale price to see what the delta is. And this is one of only a few where the list price was higher than the sale price. So I think your intuition that maybe it was listed too high to begin with may have been spot on.
And so I don't hold that against them. I use that data. Like that is too much list price for us, at least. So yeah. Okay. And then I don't really look at price per square foot at this point. I kind of look a little later. Let's see. What else am I looking at? Garage makes a difference, but that can be adjusted.
And if that McGavick Pike, the 1427 McGavick really is Riverside Village, to Sylvia's point in the chat, that's higher dollar if you're really, walkable to Riverside Village as opposed to,
Totally.
you'd have,
So. Yeah, I mean, it's right there. Here's the split. So it's just up the hill on McGavick. So.
and Sylvia says
Totally.
that McGavick was updated years ago, a different animal. So you're probably going to want to pull that one out.
Check. Okay. What would you be looking at? Would you narrow your search more from here, or do you kind of take these numbers to get a feeling? The Sandy one, I also need to uncheck. So yeah. Okay. So I had a list price in mind. Do you all want to guess? I don't want to keep y'all on here like all day, but how do you want to roll? Co-pilot Rebecca Cooper reporting live from Lebanon Cracker Barrel.
Starbucks parking lot. Thank you.
Sorry.
Um,
Sorry. Yeah, it's a great.
I'd put it to the group. Does anyone have an idea? Sort of again, and it's an iterative process. So, but if we decided that these comps are perfect, spot on, we don't want to make any other changes. If we decided that, what price would you think? What price point? Anybody want to throw anything out there? And it's not to say that we have the perfect ones. I think you're going to want to go back and tweak a few more and zero in a little bit further so that you've got a nice tight group of comps, and then you're going to have your 2 or 3 that you think are the ones, right? You're not necessarily going to limit it that much when you talk to your seller about it, but these are the comps. This is what I'm thinking.
Do you want to know my number? Or does anyone else have numbers?
Did we get Rebecca? give a number?
405.
Well, and Ted says this so much better than I do, but when you think about those price cutoffs, it's going to be 400, 425, 450, those sorts of things. If you price it at 405 and somebody's only looking up to 400, you might miss that group.
Good point.
I just don't think it's worth I think you'd better have a better shot of getting multiple offers, pricing it at 400 and somebody bidding it up than pricing it at 405 and missing people that only searched at 400, even though realtors, if somebody said your budget was 400, they'd ask, are you comfortable with me searching a little bit over?
That was my number.
400.
400 on the dot.
Yay.
Certainly proves, I mean, all the sold comps are over 400. So, you have to, I think, posture to the seller that this is a strategy to price a little bit more reasonably, assertively, aggressively, however you want to posture that. So to encourage strong, potentially multiple offers.
Yep, that's what I want. And my seller's dream is that number, 420,000.
Well, and I don't think that's out of the realm. Again, that one, was it Shadow Lane, that where the list price was higher than the sales price? That's the only one. That's the only one. And if you feel like you've got it priced right at 400 and that 2217 Thistlewood is a tight comp, look what it's sold for. So it's not out of the realm that she could get. Did you say
actives?
I didn't hear you. What?
Can you scroll up to the actives?
Yeah, there's only one and it doesn't really fit.
There you go. So I love that too, is that there's nothing on market really to comps or compete. So you have a great chance that, there's there's still a high demand that should push that price up.
Yep, and we would rather do that.
So what do you say when they say, well, you can always lower your price, but you can never raise it. So why not price at 425, Emily? I want
Because
420,
we
so
don't
doesn't it
wanna-
make sense we
We have
price
a
it?
home sale
425?
contingency. We don't have the time to fuck around.
And any questions?
Sleep.
Any questions?
All right. Oh, yeah, that was on the recording. I'm sorry, guys.
You're fine. You're fine. I'm sure
But we
Bella
don't.
edited
We're
it
on a
out.
deadline, so we want to just, as I told the listing agent on the house we're under contract for, we're gonna do this right
Yeah.
and price it right and sell it on time. Like, we are not here to mess
So
around.
because you're gonna price it lower than you're potentially under market, are you gonna do a all showings weekend and highest due Monday or not?
That's my plan.
I think it's a strong plan if you do we'll call it under market list price, because there would be some pushing and shoving, and you don't want to potentially limit your seller to feeling pressure with that first offer at 405.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like that. Otherwise, if you're priced at market, I think it's not a good strategy to do the highest and best by Monday thing. It's presumptuous. And I think that most people, if things are priced too high, you know, they may not play in that game. So
I'm
cool.
just
Love
gonna
this
make
strategy.
remarks that in the event of multiple offers, this is the plan.
There you go. I like it.
Yeah, that sounds a lot better.
Are you going to hold an open house?
Yep,
Yeah, you are.
Yep.
Saturday, Sunday.
that Sunday, but I may also do one on that Saturday.
Do it. If not, give it to somebody else. Leverage the leads.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
It's too great of a property not to do an open house, I think, both days. Realtors will love you because they can send their clients unattended, because
Yep.
and you'll pick up and make friends and all the things, and just blanket the MF of that neighborhood. 20 pointers.
Jesus.
I'm not kidding. Make a game of it. You're going to see the difference. The price will help, but pointers, pointers, pointers. I mean, you think it's silly, but like they work. I mean, they just work.
Okay.
I have some you can borrow, Emily.
Hey, Mary, I'm gonna contact me after this and we'll talk about Saturday.
There you
Okay.
go.
Thank you, guys. Y'all are great.
You're the best.
Thank
Great job, you all.
Emily, fantastic job.
Thank
Really?
you.
Terrific. And thank you so much. Again, be sure, if I don't think we made any more changes, but be sure you save it so you don't lose your work. And yeah, thank you guys for everybody for joining Pricing Pros today. Again, we're all just getting better and better. And if you have anything you'd like us to do on the next one, it'll be a month from now, and we're happy to do it.
Thank you, guys.